How is it going then, everybody? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome to another video here on our channel. I am the FIFA Analyst, and today we are going to be taking a look at a video that you guys have been waiting a little while for, as I have teased it. We're going to be taking a look at Pieface's gameplay today. Pieface obviously is a fellow member of the 564, and he's about gold 2, I think, is where he's kind of at in weekend league. He does have obviously a very, very good side, mainly a pack opening streamer, you know, loves grinding the SBCs, doing all that sort of thing. I will put his links in the description. Thank you to him for allowing us to take a look at his gameplay and grabbing the footage from his Twitch stream, which he does stream pretty much every day over on the evenings, going in to the morning on the UK side of things. So definitely go and check him out if you want to see some funny streams, some pack openings, that sort of thing. That's the man to go to. But yeah, we're going to be taking a look at his game today. So if you do enjoy the video, please let me know by dropping a like. You can subscribe to the channel. We do upload every single day at 5 PM. Let's go ahead and jump into it and see how we can make Pieface a better FIFA player. So then, the first thing that I think Pieface does wrong, we're going to jump into it straight away, to be honest. We're only a couple of minutes in. It's a choice of pass which he plays. He's got a very good opportunity to play R9 in behind the back line, which is what Pieface spots. So it was good for him that he does realise that, and it's a killer pass that we want to look for. However, the choice of pass probably was the wrong option. By the looks of it, it looks like he's just played a normal through ball. Now, you stop and you ask yourself, what would you do in this situation? This pass is something that I want him to play because he's going to beat the back line. You can clearly see he's got acres to run into. If R9 can get into the position here to obviously run in on goal, it's near enough, not a guaranteed goal, but it's a very, very good chance one-on-one with the keeper. So playing that ball is fine. Now, what he could have done if he wanted to play it was look for a double tap triangle, or on Xbox, a double tap Y. Now, what is that? That's a little through ball. It's a normal through ball, but essentially, instead of playing it along the ground, it's going to loft it up into the air. What he could also do, because the way Cruyff plays a pass is he plays it through the middle. If you are concerned that obviously you've got two players, it's a little bit of a narrow gap, this Sanchez might intercept it. He could do an R1 triangle, and then on Xbox, RB, and Y. Now, what would that do? That does a curved through ball, all right? And what will happen then? The game will normally tend to put it round the outside of the defender as a little possibility. But the guy does defend it well. I don't think he does a double tap because Cruyff just plays a normal pass by the seams of it. I don't know if the double tap pass is something that Pieface can do, but a very, very good chance early on. Unfortunate not to find the way through. So, we're going to have a very good opportunity. Pieface sends the R9 on a run by tapping L1, then plays the De Bruyne in and drags the shot wide. Really, really good passing move. One thing that we will give him a bit of praise on. Just watch R9 here. Pieface has tapped the L1 or the LB button on Xbox. What does that do? When you are pointing the analog stick in any direction with the ball holder, if you tap that button, it will send to say here, he's pointing in that direction with the left analog stick. He then sends the R9 on a run. And you know that because when you send them on a run, they put their arm out to say, I'm making a run, lay the ball into me. He does the same there again with the De Bruyne, and then he gets into this area. You stop and ask yourself, how would you finish this? I think this is a perfect opportunity to ball roll the keeper. But what Pieface does wrong is he's actually just actively sprinting in this scenario. So let's have a look at it again to show you exactly what we should be doing. He runs through. I probably would have took the touch myself the way he does, but then now I'd stop sprinting and I'd just dribble. I'd dribble into this area, wait for the keeper to come and commit, and then I'd ball roll downwards. That is to ensure the goal, in my honest opinion. If you take an extra touch, the ball keeper will come out. He'd come to about here, then you'd want to input the command to ball roll downwards. What he could also do is finesse it at the near post. I think this is going to be a very high version of De Bruyne that he's using. So it's a good opportunity to look for the finesse, but that still might get saved because the keeper is going to close the angle down. He can't really ball roll upwards just because of the way the defender is, but that is a really, really good chance to go 1-0 up. Two good chances now, obviously one with the pass and then one with the one-on-one. Let's carry on and see how the game goes on. So then, Pieface is now going to fall into a bit of a trap that a lot of people tend to do when they are silver, up to about gold 1 at most, but definitely silver, gold 3, gold 2 is the sort of level which you'll see this. It's going to be bringing the fullback out of position. Now, what he does is he switches to his left back. I think it's Davies, is it? Yeah, I think it's Davies. And he just drags him out. And what that's then doing is giving him the space in behind to kind of run down and obviously get. If I was this opponent here, I'd be attacking this sort of area to look for a double tap pass across. But instead he chooses the wrong choice. Now, what should a Pieface done? I don't know how much he uses right stick switching, but he could have used a simple L1 or LB switch here, obviously right to this opponent, and he could have put the pressure on. Instead, he switches to Davis. Now, the way I like to explain these is you've got to try and keep your defensive line in the position of where they are. So you think about this here. You've obviously got this man there that can go and put that pressure on directly for us. That Davies does not need to come out and put pressure on Coleman. He is not a threat. You should be doing this with this man there. You should be leaving your Davies directly in that left back position. That's what a lot of people do wrong, is they constantly use the wrong people to go and press and try and win the ball back, and then they leave the space in behind. Do your absolute hardest to leave the back four in their back four positions. Straight away after this, we do one of the things that, you know, goal players do all the time. They try and go from defence to attack too quick, and now he ends up trying to play a pass into this striker here when the passing lane is covered. How often do goal players, you know, goal 2, goal 3, silver 1, keep an eye on this opponent's cursor? Very, very rarely. That pass is blocked. He played the ball off with Vieira. He should have just laid the ball back into Vieira and carry on running directly up that way. I believe Pieface is running like a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. I think that's the formation that he normally tends to go to. So he has to try and keep the ball obviously quite narrow. You can't really exploit the wide area. But giving that ball away, that guy's just got through, should have scored there, takes a rebound and misses. That, to me, should be punished every day of the week. He's gifted in the ball back. He comes through, he plays a good little pass. I don't think he's pressed the tackle button there, but even still, should definitely be punished and should be 1-0 down, really, given that little chance there. So as Pieface is using the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, it's not the most meta formation this year. It's a very quick and attacking formation, and it can work in certain scenarios, but I do believe you have to play it very, very well for it to be effective. This is one of the things that we're going to probably see a lot throughout this video. We're going to go ahead and play a pass because obviously you've always got the players around in the middle and it's very narrow and very compact. He's always going to look for the quick 1-2s, you know, trying to get forward as quick as he possibly can. So again, he's going to play a pass directly into this man here. Keeping an eye on the opponent's cursor, he's going to step over. So how do you stop giving the ball away on a regular basis? If you keep an eye on the opponent's cursor and you ask yourself, if I play this pass, how quickly is this guy going to put the pressure on me? Sometimes it is good to up the tempo and try and get through these little passes. But in this sort of scenario, in the middle of the pitch, I always ask people to not give away the ball anywhere in here. So your side of the pitch, and then kind of the first, you know, half when you kind of come through there. In the final third, I do allow you to play a bit more risky passes, but this here, you're stopping an attack from building because we're giving it away in this, you know, area. We've done this a few times now already, and it just means that you have less chances of scoring because you're giving it away in such a crucial area. What could we have done there instead? Now we pick the ball up with R9. This is either dribble with R9 and then try and see if you can get past this man with a ball roll, or lay the ball back off again. Because we are playing the narrow, we're not going to have much going on down these wings, and that's where I would want you to use the fullbacks a little bit, but I imagine we're not going to see that a lot throughout the game. This is actually going to be a very interesting game to watch for the simple fact of the opponent is playing, by the looks of it, 4-2-4. If you take a look on the mini-map next to me, you can just see there's two people in the middle, which are directly here. And then look at that there. This is going to be very hard for Pieface to defend because his right back and left back have always got a man literally sitting on their shoulder. If he does any little mistake, the guy should capitalise on it if he's a good enough player. He uses a dummy to then go and commit. Now, the dummy does catch him out a little bit. It probably is something that he's not ever going to expect because not many people do it this year. However, it can be really effective. But I'm going to go back to one of the first points that we spoke about. This right back, if he does say turn in there, the right back doesn't need to go and try and win the ball back. I like to say prioritise the people and, like, you know, the people on the pitch on ranking. How much of a threat are they? At the minute, this left winger isn't a massive threat. The people that are the threat normally are going to be the strikers, cams, the guys that have got the easiest access to get into the goal. So you don't want to give up any space in any shape or form where possible. He predicts him to go forward. He obviously gets that wrong and then boom, directly in behind. Now the opponent gets into the box. He just tried to defend that really well there with White, but it's just very risky. Now following up from that, what then happens? He gives the ball away straight away. He's just done really well to win the ball back here with White. He stood up, he's not dove in, won it back. He's played a wide pass to kind of get forward. Now watch. Here, don't sprint, just dribble. We're going to find he's probably going to be sprinting pretty much all the time in these attacks. He can just dribble there, and this is a great, fantastic opportunity for him to catch him on the counter-attack. What's either going to happen with him? He's going to keep tracking this run, so he's going to go back, and then you can carry on running with Cruyff, or he's going to try and win the ball back. If he does try and win the ball back, you lay the ball off, or you have to ball roll past the Van Dijk and then send that man. Great, great opportunity. Absolutely ruined by just playing too quickly there. Okay, so we are now going to go ahead and get a goal. Pieface defends quite well here in the middle. Tries to cover the passing lane. Unfortunately doesn't, but switches to the Ben White really quickly and efficiently and steps in. Doesn't press the tackle button, just wins the ball like that. He sends De Bruyne on a run by tapping the L1 button. Plays the ball over the top with the R9. And then comes across goal and takes the shot. Fantastic goal from De Bruyne. That's one of them ones, though. It is the team of the year that we're rocking. That I'm just trying to think, for your average sort of FIFA player, that's probably not a shot we want to do too often, just because obviously it is team of the year De Bruyne. I'm thinking across goal, when De Bruyne is facing that way, that's a very difficult chance for him to score. Now, what could we have done instead? Just to give you another alternative, a fake shot stop and then possibly a pass across to the R9, hit it first time could be an option. The reason why a fake shot stop may work here is because both players are running in this direction at full speed. When you do a fake shot stop, which is where you hold R1 on PlayStation and then square and X, or on Xbox, RB, and then X and A. As a fake shot stop, stops him dead in the track. What that will do for the opponent will end up overshooting because he's at full speed. He's not going to be able to stop as quick as you are because he hasn't got, the facility to do a skill move like you have because you've got the ball, and then lay the ball off. Or you could, if he does overshoot massively, you probably could come forward with De Bruyne and then you could smash that in at the far post. But still, he took the chance very well. 1-0 up. Let's see how it carries on. So what I'm finding from Pieface is that he does, as I said, give the ball away quite a lot because of the attacking formation that he's playing. He's trying to go forward too quickly. And then in the middle, he's going to start trying to predict exactly where the opponent is going. And what you're going to see, really, if you watch it again, you're going to see these midfielders and these defenders and what they all do when he player switches to them. They all run in this direction. Just watch how this happens. It does it in the middle and it does it with the centre-backs as well. What that's doing is that's him trying to run towards the opponent and constantly put the pressure on, but it's leaving the space in behind and makes it difficult. What I'd actually prefer him to do, like say here when it switches in the middle with that Kimmich, is almost try and track that run, let the guy come forward a little bit and then put the pressure on and then try and win the ball back. Because he's in this habit of doing this, he then does it with the centre-backs as well, which just invites a massive amount of pressure on. He hits the deck there with a slide tackle, which he shouldn't do. Don't need to slide tackle on this game, but very disappointing. And then same again, just giving the ball away. I'd like him to slow it down massively. Like, obviously this game isn't designed to play quickly this year, which is a big letdown. We do want to play attacking football. However, we have to adapt to what the game is. If he takes the touch there, waits for the De Bruyne to get directly in line with that centre-back, he then can look for a through ball, as we've already spoken about what sort of passes to play. But instead, he tries to play the pass first time. It's just running the risk of giving the ball away, which is what happens. Let's see how he builds up in this attack here. Turns, ball roll maybe, then send him. You know what? He actually does really well there. That's unfortunate. I maybe would have done a ball roll just to try and get the angle a little bit better myself. But what he does is he waits and he waits and he waits for that. That's what I just said about how sometimes you have to wait for your attacker to get in the defensive line to give you that chance of going through. What I am thinking though, again, a double tap Y, a double tap triangle could have been the better option for us to try and beat this man. Now, the reason why the double tap pass is so effective is because it plays it in the air ever so slightly. These defenders don't always lock onto it. It's a bit of a bug this year. They should do, but they don't. So we have to use that to our advantage. Really crucial. If you've ever got a pass that you want to play and there's someone in front of you, normally the double tap pass will be better. So we've just won the ball back from a corner. Just comes in and I'll go straight to the goalkeeper. Nice and simple, right? We're 1-0 up. It's the 28th minute. Ask yourself, what would you do here? I want you to be calm and just take the sting out of the game a little bit and just get a little bit of control on the game yourself. At the minute, Pieface, it's been back and forth. It's like being watching ping pong, to be honest. It's like, boom, 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 boom. There's neither player has gone, this is my game. I'm going to control the tempo. We're going to play how I want to play. Pieface clearly likes to play quick, which there is a time and a place to do so. He can up the tempo in attack in the final third, but in your half, you need to build up a little bit slower, all right? We don't want to just go, boom, straight to the strikers and lose the ball. What happens? He picks the ball up. Yes, counter-attack, you could say, but at the minute, we're 1-0 up. Why do we need to try and hit on the counter-attack straight away? I prefer you to actually wait for all of your defence and your midfield to transition up and get into their said positions, and then you can try and play the ball out. That's just asking for trouble there, giving the ball straight back to the opponent. Luckily enough, you get the bounce and then obviously give the ball away from the De Bruyne, but one thing we do need to be careful of, just slow it down a little bit in our own half. As I said, in the final third, we can keep the tempo. I like the tempo, but in that first half, in your own half and kind of middle of the pitch, we do want to be nice and slow with it. Okay, Pi, I'm seeing our passing is one of the things that's letting us down. You're picking the ball up in the middle of the park, but we're not ever having the chance to get a shot off on goal. We've got such a good team. We want to prioritise getting these guys near the box. R9 on the edge of the box can take a shot and hit the target 9 times out of 10. You've got a brilliant chance to just use this man, drive forward from there. You know, look at where his defence is. You've got a really good opportunity. You can use that man. You can keep running, but instead we decide to do that. Stop trying to look for the overtop through balls. Wait for the supporting runners to come forward as well and use your men a little bit better. Following on from that, we're now going to concede. And you know when I said earlier on about how when we change to our centre-backs, our centre-mids, the first thing that Pieface does is move that analog stick over to, you know, the opposite direction, to the opposite way, like here. What that then does is the most common thing to defend is a 1-2, all right? People look for it on a lot, especially when they don't have, you know, unpredictability in attack. A 1-2 is the easiest way to try and get in behind against bad defenders. Because what do? They go and sucker punch out and they go, I want to win the ball here. Mommy, give me the ball. I want the ball. They're so eager to get it. You know, it's like a kid going to a candy shop or a sweet shop. They want everything. They just want the ball all the time. They don't want to defend. You need to be patient. You need to be calm. You need to wait for the right time to step in. So if you go, I'm not saying don't you know, go and put pressure on constantly. You can put a bit of pressure on. That's fine. I want you to run 2 or 3 yards away from them, about to here. Leave a little bit of a gap. That's putting a bit of pressure on. That might force him to play a pass. That might force him to make a turn that he shouldn't make. If they do play the pass, think, he's going to run behind here. I need you to move the defender back into that position. That way, you've got the head start on someone like CR7. But instead, you're going to just go and say, I want to go through the back of you and I want to win the ball here. And we're not going to do it. What that means is that 1-2 then becomes really, really easy for him. Look where Ben White is. If you would have gone, put the pressure on and then step back, you would have been fine there. Now, how do I want you to run and put the pressure on? You can use the R2 and the L2, the sprint and the jockey button, RT and LT on Xbox. You want to run up to there, R2, L2. Like that, run up to there, and then if they play the pass off, you then run back just through the sprint button, get to there, and then you can play a switch to this man and try and put the pressure on. You try and put the pressure on there, but what happens is Ben White's now out of pace, and then you've got more running up against CR7. Not really something you want to do. Okay, so we're going to get done by another 1-2 here. Just try and think about keeping these defenders in a back 4, okay? At the minute, that's now not a back 4, that's a back 3 because Moore has come out of his position. We don't want to do that. We should have switched to the Vieira, and Vieira is responsible for covering this middle area of the pitch. Bobby Moore now comes out. Now, where should Bobby Moore be? Here. Who have we got there? We've got Ben White and we've got Davis. He then plays a 1-2. If you had Moore there, you could have trapped that run with White and you could have sent the Davies or the Moore to come and put the pressure on. Probably would have, it depends on how it is, you probably would have sent the Moore because then the Davies can track, obviously, these men over here. You try and come over, you leave the space in behind. Guy gets through. What should he do? He should ball roll the keeper, literally input the command now. He gets past them and that's a goal every single time. Just literally the keeper bows you out there. Palmer, favourite goalkeeper for you, eh? So then, from the halftime stats, 1-1, 4 shots, 2 on target for Pi, 41% possession. My main concern, something that I always ask every single one of my coaching students to do, is to try and get this figure up to 90%. Think about Wolf of Wall Street, that's rookie numbers, that is. 90% of pass accuracy is what you should be aiming for. You might say, yes, but why Analyst? Why do I want to do that? If you don't give the ball away as much, what happens? It means you transition into attack a lot more. There's been a lot of times you put the ball up in the middle of the park. Instead, we've tried to go from, you know, defence to strikers too quickly. We've not slowed it down. We've not waited for the runners to kind of come ahead and show for you and give you the easy options. You've passed directly through into the passing lanes, which have been covered by the defender. Very, very easy for someone to defend against someone that literally plays a first-time pass every time they go into attack, or they just up the tempo too much. Now, you can play quick football in that final third to try and catch your opponent off guard if you like, that's fine. However, the build-up play needs to be slower. Okay, so we're going to grab a goal. Again, we go midfield to attack, and then we play that pass over the top with Mbappe. I want you to spot when you've got space to run into, which you have at the minute. You've got a little bit of room to run into here and try and play a through ball along the ground, carry on running, bait the defender out, and, you know, then look for that Kevin De Bruyne. You boot a ball over the top, you get unbelievably lucky, and then De Bruyne finds the back of the net with a finish again. Just realise, if you've got time to run, you can carry on dribbling here. Don't sprint, because if you sprint, you take a heavy touch, defender comes in and claims the ball. You want to just make sure that you are dribbling here, and then you look for, you might go, okay, I'm going to play an L1 pass, and then I'm going to send Mbappe on a run. You might be able to play the threaded through ball through. Obviously, it all depends on the scenario, how it builds up, but because we sent the ball over the top, De Bruyne runs through. Very, very lucky to be 2-1 there. Okay, so we're now going to pick the ball up again. We play the pass really, really quickly, and then we sprint with De Bruyne, which is going to cause us to nearly give the ball away. This is something that a lot of people do. They play the pass here, and then you've played a through ball directly into there, which is unbelievably lucky to find the man. I ask pretty much everyone, it's something that I'm guilty to at times, to play the way you're facing, but also don't press the through ball button inside your own half. So a through ball is good if you want to play the ball down the line. You've got a man running in behind the back line and you want to play it in. However, inside your half, just the normal X pass is normally going to be adequate. So just play the way you're facing and keep the ball and be a little bit more patient with it. Again, you should be losing the ball here. This shouldn't even come through to that Mbappe, in my opinion. He wasn't facing the right way and you managed to find him. That little heavy touch there with De Bruyne was because we were sprinting. What could we have done instead? You know, I've said about being a little bit more patient with it. You could have carried on running with Cruyff there, gone back to Vieira, but you play that ball. Now, what do? We want to wait for these guys to get forward and show a little bit. Ball roll away from the defender. Now, don't sprint, just dribble. Ball roll away, then lay the Vieira in. Then you might want to use your right back and come down there. And then you can build the attack that way. You get very, very lucky, obviously, to still come out with that. And we're going to go forward here. Let's see how this builds. It's just going to be a good tackle from him. So, yeah, it's kind of the main takeaway from that little point. Okay, so this is one thing that you do well here. You hold the ball up and you wait for the runners to come from behind up in front of you for the through ball. Look at that with De Bruyne. You hold it, then you play the pass. You get a little bit lucky with that, and then we get into a good scenario. Again, Vieira doesn't put that one in the back of the net. I think in the one-on-one situations, Pi, we're going to need to look at ball rolling the keeper. You can use like a fake shot if you're not comfortable ball rolling. You can fake shot away. For me, though, I would wait and I would have ball rolled now into that direction. Flick the push the right analog stick down for half a second to ball roll away from the keeper. You don't want to trust Vieira's finishing here. You need to get past this man to then find the back of the net. Should be another goal. Should be 3-1. And then you're probably cruising in this game. Okay, so from that, we're now going to get into a scenario where you do well, but then you mess it up massively. So he comes down the line, you cover, you don't go and dive in, you stand up. You know, you don't really do too much wrong there. And then you stand up again and you win the ball back. Great. What do we do here? We try and play a pass out straight away. What do I want you to do? You've not got any pressure on. I want you to carry on running. Don't sprint, just dribble. Try and see if there is a clear pass on. If there isn't, just think one of the worst things to do is to play the pass across the face of goal in the middle. Because if you mess it up, they win the ball back, they grab a goal. If there isn't a pass on, obviously we don't know because this isn't what we do. Just boot it long. Just play for the second ball. You'd rather defend and the ball go up into the middle of the pitch and then you can reset. You can do what you want, kind of just getting it long. You'd rather do that than give the ball away in the middle. Instead, what do? We play the pass first time to try and find that man, gives the ball away. Now we are kind of squeaky bum time, clenching it, little bit in our pants. He scored 2-2, 78th minute. Last thing you needed to do there. You know, a little bit of patience is all you need. You didn't have any pressure on. If you feel like you are under pressure, right, when you pick up this ball, say if there was an opponent directly on you and you're thinking, I haven't got time to kind of see this out. Say if this man was there, you want to run into this direction. It's a defender against attacker. 9 times out of 10, they're going to win this. Hold the L2, LT on Xbox button to shield, jockey, stick their arms out, and then boot it long. That's kind of your way out of that scenario. So from this, on kickoff, we do what I really don't like people doing. Because you're playing the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, which is a formation I'd probably prefer you to come away from, if I am being honest with you. We go down the middle. We shouldn't go down the middle of kickoff. Why? Because that's where everyone's team is going to be lined up, all right? That's where the most amount of people are. What do we want to do? We want to go out to the fullbacks. We want to get down the wing. That's where it goes. You get down the wing, and then if you can't get past that right back, you come back in, and then you go into the middle, and then everyone's got into their said positions, and you have a little bit more room. Instead, you try and take on the world. It's Mbappe versus the opposition, and obviously we give the ball away. It frustrates me on kickoff because kickoff is the time when you actually have the ball for free, and you just need to try and get an attack through. Okay, so one thing I need us to take out of our game. When you play a switch, you really need to stop holding this button in there. When you play a switch, almost keep the analog stick in the middle, right? Try and cover these passes with the CDMs, assess the situation, and then if you've got, say, if you cover these passes and then you want to go and put the pressure on the ball holder, that's fine. What you are doing is you're putting the pressure on so much that all he's doing is playing a simple pass across and he's getting in behind really, really easily. It's actually quite hard to play against someone that does this at times because it's like so constant pressure, but the good players will always cut through it, all right? They will always find a way through it because it's just so aggressive from yourself. You need to just be a little bit calmer. This game's not designed for you to be a madman and go and run every single man forward. Think about team shape. Think about if this was your team, for everyone kind of watching this, and you saw your defenders doing this, you'd be very annoyed and very frustrated. Calm it down, defend slowly, and just make sure that we're keeping that team shape as much as we possibly can. Pie's going to go 3-2 down now. Guy plays a direct pass into the box to find the man. We do go ahead and give the ball away from the right back position, and then boom, he's in and finds a goal. So how do we get it wrong there? Now, what happens? Again, we rushed forward a little bit with Sissoko. We win the ball back with Moore, which was great. Turn, don't sprint, just dribble, look for the men and play it. We don't need to try and play the pass straight away. You may have wanted this pass to go to this man, right? But what you've done is you were originally facing that way and you've tried to turn and pass at the same time. You have to have a bit more composure to take the touch and then lay the ball off. You can't turn and pass on this game. You can't be facing that way and pass that way. Passing is just one of them things that you just have to play the way you're facing. Make sure that you are angled up correctly and then the passes are more successful. Passing is broken in this game, so sometimes these passes do find the men. Don't ask me how, but that's kind of a general sort of rule. Now you do that, we switch back to the Sissoko. This man is out the game at the minute. What I always talk about is when these midfield players are out the game and he's in there, you need to switch to the centre-backs as quick as possible or whoever's kind of in that area. I would have tried to switch to this man to try and cover that pass, but by that point, it's kind of too late, and then he just finds a direct pass through and scores. But came from your mistake. How many goals now have come from your mistake, eh, Pie? This is why I always talk about using the fullbacks as much as you possibly can. Matty Cash makes a run. Pie sends him on a run with L1, which was really, really good. He gets down the line, finds a De Bruyne, near post finish. Easiest way, one of the easiest ways to score this year. This is why I think using the full 1-2-1-2 narrow is bad, because everything comes through the middle. Very rare you use your fullbacks to do that, because most people have their fullbacks on stay back while attacking. Use the fullbacks as and when you can. Use the right mid, left mid if you're running them on a formation. Cut back, near post, goal, 3-3, back in it. Up the pie. We're going to finish off with a penalty shootout. I'm not very good at penalties, so I can't really give too much advice on penalties. People know from my stream, from my channel, I'm not the greatest at them. One thing I will say is be careful of that. We'll see if you do it again, actually. Let's see. I hope you win this, Pie. I've not looked at the game. I hope you win this. I think the guy's been better than you, by the way. I think we've just rushed everything that we've had. Oh, Palmer, letting us down there, isn't he? Letting us down. Okay, let's see what you do. One thing I would say is time the penalties, all right? You're better off timing the penalties as late as you possibly can, because then if you don't time it right, it doesn't affect the good save. It doesn't affect the outcome of the penalty. So practice that. You want to basically press the green, the shoot button again when the foot is about to be planted. I'm going to point this out for you just to be sure. I used to do this on penalties. Don't do this where you go from left to right to left. You make that circle get bigger and the margin for error then gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You want to now click the green button again when he's about to plant that foot. Press the shoot button again and that should hopefully green time it. But 3 goals, 3 successful penalties, saved 1. Up the pie. Come on. All you got to do is bury this. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? That's it. Boom. Get in. Good game, Pie. Good game. Good game. Good game. There he is. Celebrating. We love it. We love it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, then please do let me know by smashing that like button. Be sure to check Pie out if you don't know who he is. He's just, look at him dancing away. He's an absolute legend, isn't he? Thank you all for watching. Once again, thank you to Pie. I do appreciate you letting me do this. And I'll catch all you guys in the next video.